Back at it with another fake podcast. You're really going to slurp right now during my intro?
Okay, take it away.
I have a terrible memory. I forgot where I was going.
Sidetrack.
Well, today, what are we going to be talking about?
We're going to be talking about our newest venture, our supplement company. We're going to be talking about clients. We're going to talk about my weekend away with my wife in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
What else is going on this?
And my 7 years, hit 7 years in the agency. And then,
cool.
yeah, that should be a lot of good topics.
Take it away, Gordon.
So this past week, we just had a follow-up meeting with our client who owns a sunglass brand. They're on retainer under the agency, and we've been partnered with them for several months now. But we hopped on a brainstorming call for June, since it's the first week of June, to go over analytics of past winning ads for the UGC creatives and just all content in general, since we are pumping out a lot of content. I feel like the last week we've been on different pages. So hopping on a call, I think, was really beneficial to make sure there's no miscommunication through text messages and able to just communicate properly with John, the media buyer, and the owner. And I feel like after going through that, 1 hour call, we were able to get back a lot of good data. And I think we're all on the same page now.
For sure. It's just super important to be able to go over everything and see what's actually been working. So I feel like we've been kind of in the dark with the media buyer as far as like what's really been converting as far as copy under the ads, an actual script, It's good to know because there's so many things that could interfere or like that. There's so many things that could actually like be the main benefactor, I guess, or like main benefit of why it's converting. So it's like, is it the attire? Is it like we were talking about, is a hat backwards, forwards, color of t-shirts? Like there's so many things that we might not even think about, but if you're able to actually like put it down on paper and look through everything and be able to actually take a step back and reiterate and then just pick out the winning scripts and now reusing those like we did yesterday with that new creative or new talent rather with the old creatives or script that we've been using. So hopefully that'll convert and we're on to something of more honing down on what's actually working,
Yeah. I feel like the last couple weeks too, their biggest thing they wanted to do was really hone in on crushing it in the female demographic side. And unfortunately, we haven't cracked the code. But on the call, I think it may not have been because of the creatives we created, because they looked fire.
Yeah, they did. And that's what the media buyer was saying too. So it's kind of more, it might just be other things.
It could be like a faulty ad account or pixel, and they were going to either change that up this following week, or it could just be a landing page like conversion issue.
Because it's all about, like, I know we were talking about this, you and me, before, but it's like all about pre-framing. So like, let's say a woman sees an ad with a beautiful girl and she's like, oh, this gives me this type of vibe. And then she goes into the website and it's like, complete disconnect. It's just like, this looks like a website for dudes, For
sure. I think the ideal demographic they want to go after versus what they actually attract are two different types of females.
For sure. Absolutely.
Which isn't bad. It's just we're talking to the wrong people and just a lot of more miscommunication through the ads.
Wrong creative language, wrong design language. So it's, but we might also be wrong, you and me. It might be that, like you said earlier, it might just be a pixel error or an ad account error, So if they are able to do like they were hoping to do, basically duplicate the ad account and then just have one dedicated to females because their ROAS was going from 3.8 and then suddenly the following day it was a 2 and then back up. So it's like it's all over the place. It's not consistently dropping from like 4 to 3.5 to 3 to 2.5,
Yeah, so for this month, we're just going to be honing in on men. And I think we just pulled John's top 5 winning UGC ads and going to really recreate those, keep the copy the same. Only thing we're changing is the people and the style frames we're going to be wearing. And split test that and see how it goes for June.
For sure. Yeah. So like I said earlier, we did our first round with new talent yesterday using the same old script that's converted before, same shades that's converted that are currently converting. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes back as far as numbers.
Yeah, I think it's super crucial as a creative business owner, if you guys are running an agency or just working with brands in general, being able to hop on a call with their media buyer, whoever's running their ads, with the owner, and actually get real time feedback through themselves and the analytics, I think is super crucial. Just so you're not in the dark, like you were, or just like anybody in general, to know which ads are performing well, which ones aren't, and how we could just really recreate ads that are winning, just so you have a better, clear path on how to create more ads that could perform well.
100%. Because think about it. If the brand wants, like me speaking from the UGC creator standpoint, it's like a brand might want to drop you because you're not converting, but you had a previous ad that was converting, and you might not know what you did. Maybe it was something as simple as like you were wearing a white t-shirt and opening the whole thing with, "Hey, what's up?" And that was what was converting. Maybe you had a couple back to back that was converting, and then you felt like you had to be more creative and you did new stuff, and that wasn't converting. So you should have just kept doing the same quote unquote boring stuff over and over, because that caught people's attention, So being able to, even as a UGC creator, being able to talk to the brand and actually ask what was converting about this. Can we sit down with the media buyer and actually go through what was working? Because you and the brand and the media buyer, all three of you want the same thing. You want conversions, because that's how all of you get paid, So it's in everyone's best interest to actually find this out. So to take that 10, 15-minute phone call or Skype, whatever it is, Zoom at this point, maybe not Skype, but
Skype. Damn, you're old.
I'm 38 years old over here. No, so yeah, just get
That's
on.
that's how you do good for your clients and keep your clients. But
Exactly.
speaking of keeping your clients, we just lost a client.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and it wasn't because we did anything bad. It's because they just needed too much content, and it would be way too expensive, and it wouldn't make sense. Even like you said, you would recommend that they would go. So that he was like, "Wow, I wish you would. I wish you were more mad at me because it feels like a breakup." But
Yeah. Yeah, so just always keeping your client's best interest. For this specific client, he's been with since November. I actually found the discovery call last night. I was like calling through like my discovery calls.
That was like a pretty big client too.
Pretty big client, like 5 to 6K a month.
Yeah.
And relatively easy. We did like 2 productions a month, or just one half day production a month in social media management. But they just needed way more content. They were just always doing cool stuff every single day. And they have a huge team. They do a lot of culture building content.
Yeah.
And 1 day's worth of production isn't enough for all the cool stuff they want to be documenting.
Makes no sense.
And just being fully transparent with like, yeah, I know you need someone on full time. It'll just be a lot cheaper on your side. If it doesn't work out, they might come back. But we did our best to deliver the best experience, quality for what was said to be delivered.
For sure.
And yeah, it is what it is.
I guess at this point you got to think about it like this too. Like if anyone ever asked them like, "Hey, who?" Because when we got on with this company, their socials went from black to white. You know what I'm saying? Like it just went a complete 180 and became super energetic and interesting to look at. So like they kind of found their identity, I would say, using us as an agency. So now they kind of found their identity, and it's like if they ever talk to other people, for sure they're going to be recommending Lee Visuals as like, "Oh yeah, you should go with them. We just had way too many needs," and they actually recommended we would get an onboard or on standby 24/7
For sure.
team member that would actually shoot content too, because it's not feasible for us to be able to travel with them to Puerto Rico and Costa Rica and Mexico like every other day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah. But it's bittersweet. Sometimes it's not always bad losing a client. But
they were cool to work with.
They were cool to work with.
It was like a
fun.
brotherhood type of a situation.
For sure. And we actually learned a lot, met some cool people.
For sure.
But they'll always be good homies.
Yeah. I don't think we lost a friendship there. We kind of gained a friendship, and like I said or tried to say earlier, it's if anything, they're going to be sending traffic your way and
for
vice
sure.
versa.
Or even the bigger productions, they'll still hire us on.
Oh,
for
sure. I think so.
So last weekend you went to Vegas for
much
the
needed
Kingdom Summit.
Yeah, a much needed, kind of like a dual trip. My wife wanted to have a little getaway. We haven't had one since our daughter was born. She's almost 2 now. kill two birds with one stone. It was like it was a Kingdom Summit in Vegas. I think it was Ryan Pineda's first go around at his Christian meets
Oh, that was the
business.
first one?
Yep,
Oh.
the first actual official Kingdom Summit. So they've had WealthCon, where they've had like the beginning of it has been more faith based, but this one was just straight up faith based through and through. It started at 7 o'clock in the morning was registration and like mingling. We didn't get there till like 9 or like 8:30, and which was fine. And we just got our seats, sat down, and then it went from there all the way till 5 o'clock. And we left early. There was like a concert after even
Oh,
with
yeah.
a Christian singer. So we just had booking at a restaurant, our favorite restaurant in Vegas, Tao.
Tao.
Yeah. So we
Whose
we
idea was it to go to the summit?
actually hers.
Yeah.
She was like, I wanna go like re-up on some faith, feel like reinvigorate everything and just kind of get a refill. And also like for me in terms of incorporating my faith and just putting God first in whatever I do. It's like Ed Milet was saying, he was one of the speakers, and he was saying like, why do you pray? You pray over your food, you pray over your children, you pray for good health and whatever. But as soon as you go into a business meeting, you just buckle up and it's just all on you. You know, like why not say a prayer for that and just bring God wherever you go. And yeah, just so many things that really resonated with me in terms of just like go for it, like not wait, don't waste time. Basically, just go all in. And if anyone doubts you, F them. You know what I'm saying? Just like you might have crazy, extravagant dreams and hopes, and don't let anyone tell you no, because that was the common denominator with all these guys too. Like they had extreme goals, and everyone would always tell them no. That sounds crazy. Why would you aim for the moon? You know what I'm saying? Like just yeah, try to reel it back in. And I'm been dealing with the same things myself, like with my family back in Norway, where it's like they're always saying like, oh, why don't you just come back? Like kind of give up, you know what I'm saying? Not give up, but just like why do you have to like reach for so much? Like almost like it's greed. It's not greed to me. It's more just like I have this gut feeling that I've had since I was born, that I was destined to do something bigger than just a normal 9 to 5, you know, like actually make a difference or do something, help people and create something cool. And it's like I really feel like we're doing something, you and me here, where it's like this friendship is not normal. It's not something you find anywhere. So
Yeah, I feel like if you were to get a 9 to 5, there's no way you'd ever be happy or satisfied, and that's just
yeah.
gonna bring everything else down in your life.
Oh,
But
for sure.
even if you're even doing the business route and you're struggling, I feel like there's so much more enjoyment in that, because you know that it's gonna be a win at the end of the day, however long
Exactly.
it takes. But you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It might take a year, it might take 5 years, but knowing that all the hard work you're putting in now, the enjoyment or
The potential
the,
outcome of
the
it is
outcome of
worth
it
it.
is
Yeah.
going to be so much more like
100%.
satisfying.
Because it's like, yeah, I could sell stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like we've been talking about before, I could just jump into solar and probably crush it doing solar sales door to door. But it's like, that's not what my dream is. Like my dream is to build something actually big and beneficial that I would want to use myself, that I want to help people with. So, which kind of, I guess, leads us into our next thing.
Yeah, so we are finalizing our first sample run for our ingredient for our new supplement line. We will be dropping hopefully by late summer, early fall, I
Yeah.
would say. It's safe to say.
I would say, yeah, I would think by August we should have like our first run.
Yeah.
up
We're like this close to putting in our deposit to get that first sample run. I think it's like $2,500 to
just get the first time.
get some gummies
Yeah.
made and get things rolling.
Yeah, so we had a little poll on both of our Instagrams the other day, and I don't know if you want to dive into more details.
We could dive into like what it does and the
Yeah.
purpose of it.
For sure. So it's more of a focus based gummy, but the whole overarching I guess drive behind this is that we're just so tired of finding underdosed, half-assed supplements that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, you know. And it's kind of like wasting our money buying something that's underdosed or it's not clean the way we would want it to be. And actually going all in and really doing the research, being 100% transparent with everyone. And yeah, we're kind of like in the phase of figuring out what flavoring to go with, what form factor. So like I said, we had both a poll up on our Instagrams, and it looks like we're going to be doing which is what we had in our gut this whole time. We're going to go for gummies. So wellness gummies, and they're going to be strawberry mango.
Strawberry mango.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a poll for the type of supplement, whether it's like a tincture with liquid, capsule, gummy form, powder form, and gummy was the winner. And then strawberry mango. I think watermelon was up there, and I think it was sour watermelon.
sour
was the
watermelon.
second runner up. But strawberry mango, I feel like is gonna be fire for sure.
That's for sure my favorite. That's the one that I wanted to go with from the get-go. So I was happy about most people agreeing with that. It was pretty much like 80% people wanted to go with it too. So it was pretty, yeah.
And then the last couple weeks or couple months, we've been buying a lot of competitor products to try to see like how much ingredients of each these people are using, what the taste is like, what the actual experience receiving the product is like. And it's super surprising after talking to our manufacturer, like how shitty these products are or how much these people are lying of like what's
Straight
actually
up
packed
lying.
in these ingredient or in these product or gummies,
Yeah.
that it's not even like a fifth of
Yeah.
what's actually in it.
Because it's not FDA regulated. So it's like you said, like if you want to spend $5,000 out of pocket to go test a random brand that you find on Amazon or anywhere, chances are, like he's saying, like 95% sure you're not going to be dosed anywhere close to what it says on the label. At least the ones that are where the taste is the best, the ones that we really like the flavor of, and like those, like you said, it's literally impossible for those to have what they say they have inside of them. So I think that's where we're really now going into the testing phase. We've been going back and forth between the two of us too, just taking out stuff like listening to podcasts, going through it, reading, using our trusted assistant ChatGPT to figure out what really is needed for things to be optimal, and then just asking around. And so I think we really have a good base of what is needed, and going back with him on actually getting the potency up, having a bigger gummy, maybe one bigger gummy, and then I think it's really exciting. Like I'm beyond stoked to get my hands on the first run here.
For sure. The biggest thing is making sure it's potent enough for people to feel the effects of it. Because if you don't feel it, it's gonna feel like scammy. Even though it tastes good, taste is runner up for sure. But number one, making sure it actually works.
Yeah.
Because if it actually works and you actually get laser focused after using it a handful of times, you're gonna buy that again no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a focus gummy, because we're both locked in pretty much, like me working on my UGC course, him working on editing and doing whatever he's doing, creating this mastermind and or masterminds and courses and everything. Like just being able to lock in and not be distracted and really just like get in the zone. I feel like just relying on energy drinks all the time is like not the way to go. And I don't know, something like the more I'm getting into this, I'm just like I'm slowly figuring out that I feel like I have like an ADHD, and I'm like being on edge all the time, and I'm like, that's why I'm being pulled in so many directions. And the more supplements we've been taking now, problem is that we're doing like one pill from here, one tincture from here, one this from that, and kind of like doing 4 different supplements to create the supplement that we want in one gummy, but taking them. But for the first time, I'm like really locking in and doing a lot of work in a short amount of time, and just really like pump and work out, and it feels good. And I guess you're kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, I feel like just taking little bits of these ingredients here and there, kind of meshing into like what this product will be, if not 10 times better.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a lot more focused at work, getting shit done, pumping out, this new community I just pumped out this past week, and just doing stuff and being more productive at the end of the day.
And also just like back in with family, like for me this weekend with my wife, just like being there, being present, just like instead of pulling out the camera and vlog and everything, just like actually I just want to absorb and be present, that's very different to how I would have been before. I would have been just pulled in every direction. Now it's just like, you know what, I'm here, I'm going to be here, and I'm going to absorb everything. And the same with my kids. Like I'm really like slowing down and locking in. I mean, it might also just help to cut back on caffeine intake and cannabis and whatever else I've been doing before. But it's like for sure, like me getting older, wanting to protect my brain health and brain cells and brain capacity, memory, all of that, locking in focus wise, like all of that is just super, super important to me at this stage of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm young, so like
for sure.
imagine at 50, 60, 70, 80.
Yeah, people say some of the ingredients in it brings back childhood memories.
I know, I've heard.
I've seen it on TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, I'm pretty, not just pretty, I'm like beyond excited for this. And I really hope people receive this well and that they're down to try and give it a few months. Cause like ingredients like this take time. It's kind of like skincare, you know, it's like, you're not going to just remove, blemishes and whatever overnight. Like things take time and it takes commitment. That's what anything else, like greatness takes time. You don't just plant the seed and
Yeah.
tomorrow you have a tree.
And like we were talking about, it's a supplement at the
Yeah.
end of the day. It supplements the lifestyle you actually live. If you live
Yes.
a shitty lifestyle and try to take this gummy, obviously it's going to
Yeah.
not do anything. But if you change your lifestyle, make it overall way better by being a part of the movement we're starting, then everything in your life is going to fall into place and be exactly how you want it.
Amen. Preach, brother.
But we won't dive into it too much, but we'll keep you updated once we do that first run and hopefully have that in our hands in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Should be really cool.
Yeah, should be cool. But this past weekend, speaking about like, you know, dating your wife, Brooke and I went out on a date to celebrate Lee Visual's 7-year anniversary.
That's insane.
Running
Clap.
the agency since 2017. Yeah, 2017, June 1st, 2017.
That's insane.
7 years going from
What is that button here?
not. Woo! Yeah, it's insane. I was like scrolling through my camera roll, looking at like photos of me. I look so good back
Different?
then. Yeah, sure.
You're like, why was I so jacked?
Going from using a camera to my iPhone now after 7 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. The picture you and Scotty posted of you, the two of you with your big ass red.
That was like
looking-
4 years ago. That was even like 7 years ago.
Yeah, and now you're just like you just stand there with nothing in your hands, just grabbing into my pocket for my phone.
Losing less and less.
Where's your phone?
But yeah, just going out on a date with Brooke. I feel like we haven't had alone time because usually we bring Gray to date nights, which I don't mind, but just nice. Like I didn't vlog any of that either, to sit down and actually have that one-on-one conversation.
It's so important.
I feel like if, you know, time goes by and you don't actually have those times, it gets like, feels weird sitting down alone talking to your wife. I'm like, why does this feel weird? It's not like normal.
Bro,
Like we haven't done this in so long. This is always like noise and kids in the background or just.
Yeah. It's kind of like crickets, like, so.
Yeah, like I forgot how to talk to you.
That is just pretty weird. Yeah, I know the feeling. It's, it's crazy. It's really important to just take that time.
For sure.
Honestly, like we should be doing that once a week. I
100%.
feel like, I mean, it might be difficult. Like we don't have any family here, but it's like if I did, the importance of having just a date night. The people that I know that have successful marriages after like 20, 30 years, like all of them say just date night. You have to continue dating because if not, you just forget everything and it becomes Groundhog's
Like
Day.
one
and you
day
just, like,
goes by, a couple weeks, couple years,
you're
and
like,
then
oh shit, it's 2 years since we went on a date. What happened?
and then you get divorced.
Yeah, and then it's
Shit.
too far. You're too far gone. It's like you're not attracted anymore. There's nothing there. You know, it's really important. It's but it's a lot. It's a lot when you're trying to like be an entrepreneur, father, mother, business person, and
It is a lot.
and just life. But I think if you can just, especially like with kids, if you can set a good example with your wife for your kids, like that just goes a long way for their upbringing as well. Just like showing mom and dad are still in love, they're respectful of each other, and plus just like, I don't know, happy wife, happy life, I guess, you know.
Yeah, and that's way more than buying stuff for your wife.
That's nothing.
That's nothing at all. Like, all right, that's nice, but like, that's not what they want. They want the
attention,
focus. You know, being present, which is probably super hard for most people running a business or just in general.
Yeah.
Like not thinking about anything while sitting down, having like a nice conversation over dinner. It's easier said than done, I would say, but as long as you make that effort and do your best to make an effort every single day, I think you're gonna be in a good spot.
Oh yeah.
But for people who like don't make the effort, that just, it's not gonna cut it.
Yeah, it's not. It's it's one of those things where it's like if you just forget that, you're just slowly dwindling away and it's gonna die. You know, it's like what is that saying? Like the grass is green where you water it. You know, like you got to pay attention to anything you want to grow. So yeah, the grass isn't greener on the other side. You just got to water it where you're at and put effort into your kids, your relationships, your business, and It's really important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this weekend was good for us too. So
Yeah, you guys haven't had that in a while. Yeah.
forever, honestly. So yeah, it was kind of like yeah, I guess it was kind of a business thing masked as or opposite, a pickup of us dating for a little bit and masked as a business getaway.
Yeah.
But it was important. So for
Sure.
sure, going to redo that more often. And yeah, just have her mom come out from Cali more often and see if we can get some help. Because yeah, if not, and it might up breaking a relationship, in the future if it just goes too far.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe 7 years. That is just unreal. Like how long have we known each other? Like not even two,
maybe two.
barely two.
I feel like it's been forever.
Yeah, it feels like forever, but it's like barely two. I think I met you way back, and you like paid me no mind. I felt like you didn't even like me the first time I met you.
You just rolled up, dropping off some weed in the back or front.
I can't remember what it was. Yeah, it was just funny, like how close we are now. And it was just like at one point, we had a mutual friend, and he was the one that kind of introduced us, and we were like, well, whatever, this guy.
Yeah.
And then now it's just like, so I haven't talked to you in an hour. Where you at?
What you eating for dinner?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
But yeah, I feel like it's just getting started though. 7 years, like I'm like, that's like everything I've done so far seems like nothing compared to like what I envisioned can be done for sure.
What's your biggest takeaway from the past 7 years? Like, what would you tell people that want to start an agency or that are just in the beginning phases of running an agency? Like, what would be your main thing to focus on, things to avoid?
It's hard to say. I feel like it's definitely not as easy as it looks like. I feel like social media, even like myself, when I market my mastermind, I promote how great being a business owner is, but in reality, it's going to be very, very, very tough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to take a certain person with a specific mindset in order to like endure, not obviously the wins is great. Everybody gets through that, but the lows, being able to get through like your toughest months of maybe not making any money, or you're in the red because you have payroll, or you're not paying yourself for a couple months because you got to pay your team.
Yeah, that's hard.
Just getting through like months like that. Can you actually see yourself on this journey to really see the light at the end of the tunnel? Because you know this is what you're meant to do. A lot of people quit after a couple months because they have no clients, and maybe they're just lazy too. You're sitting around and you're not actually trying to make this business thing work, and you're just relying on people sending you a DM on Instagram to work with you. Yeah. There's a big separation in people who actually take action and continue failing and taking action versus sitting around waiting. Only you know the type of person you are. And for me, I could never do a 9 to 5. No. I never had one. I never will. Just because nothing wrong with that. I just can't see myself doing that.
It's not for everyone. So who do you think being or owning a creative agency, what type of person do you think is best suited for that? What kind of skills do they need, you think?
I feel like if you...
Does it need a creative person?
No, I was not creative at all.
Yeah.
I grew up totally not creative. I went to school for nutrition, nothing creative related.
A lot of people might not know.
Yeah, I went to school for dietetics, graduated my Bachelor of Science with that, and afterwards started my apparel business on Beach and Apparel. Did that for 2.5 years or so, or a year and a half maybe. And that's where I picked up my first camera, shot my own content. I couldn't afford hiring a photographer. Mm-hmm. Shot some stuff on my iPhone, picked up a shittier camera, a T5i, and then fell in love with it like most people do and wanted to start my business. And I started getting some gigs on the side, made a couple $100 here and there, and then just went full send June 2017. And a lot of ups and downs, a lot of great wins, a lot of big lows I had to try to get through.
Yeah.
Number one, like I got this studio space, assigned a 2-year lease right when COVID hit.
Wow.
Signed the lease, I think it was like May 2020 or not May, March 2020. This spot.
Oh, wow.
Signed the lease, and then right after everything shut down. Wow. So I couldn't even like have clients here. And now I'm locked into paying like $3,000 a month.
Oh my gosh.
And knowing that business could just be shut down.
And you couldn't really go
I can't shoot
content of people.
Commercial
everyone
businesses.
Think they're gonna die.
I couldn't do that. Everybody was dying. Yeah. So from there, I'm like, what do I do now? Do I quit or do I pivot? So that's when I pivoted towards e-commerce.
Yeah.
People sent me products. Digital and online companies were booming. Just because I had to figure out a way to continue making it work rather than quitting.
Got to pay the kids.
And
feed the wife.
You
and
got
the
to figure it out. I guess number one thing, going back to your question, what kind of skill set do you need? Just be able to figure stuff out.
Yeah, and that literally goes for me as well. Whatever I've been doing, because I have no effing clue what I'm doing with anything. I literally just, it surprises me when people are like, I'm just baffled when people are just asking questions. Just Google it. Figure it out. YouTube is out there. I don't know anything I'm doing. Literally been working all day today trying to link domains with System.io, and like I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's working. It might take me longer than it should, but it's like I'm figuring it out, and it's like now I know how to do that. So if you were to ask me tomorrow, how do I link my domains and forward all this stuff, like, yeah, that's how you do it, but I didn't know this morning.
For sure.
So it's like you just got to figure it out. Same with taxes, same with accountants, same with raising capital. Like I had no idea with anything I was doing, you know? So figure it out. You have to be a figure it outer.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, what's the main thing you wish you were better at running an agency?
Good question. What I wish I was what I could do a better job at as an agency owner. Starting out, I would say networking.
Yeah.
I'm very introverted. So some people are just extroverted and they can go out and shake hands, which is awesome. Good for you guys. For me, I had to do not a lot, but I had to like get myself out of my comfort zone to go out and make conversation. Like I'm not awkward by any means, but like I could sit in a room all day by myself and I'd be chilling.
You don't prefer talking to people.
But sometimes I just got to turn up the energy, go shake some hands, or, just connect with people, which I do like once I do it. I just don't go out of my way to do it.
The thought of it sounds like it has. That's kind of like me. The thought of going out and being social sounds like death. But then once I'm there, I'm like, oh, this is pretty nice.
For sure.
I'm not completely weird.
Yeah. Some people you just might be weird, and you're just going to have to not be weird.
But that's something you could work on as well.
For sure. And that's something I continue working on. I'm not a great networker now. Like, even though I could talk on camera and shit, I still have to make an effort to get outside my comfort zone to talk to people, blah, blah, blah. Until you get to a place where maybe you have people networking for you. That's even a better scenario.
Team members or whatever.
Team members, other people who can just talk about you. Your clients at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Your clients are out there spreading the word, running ads. There's other ways of doing it, but starting out, making sure people know that you run a business, know who you are, what you offer, to build that know, like, trust factor.
Yeah.
If you sit behind your desk all day and no one knows about your business, no one's going to work with you.
I guess also, like, a lot of people don't think about how important it is to be a good leader and being good at managing employees, being clear on tasks, being clear on what needs to happen, having SOPs, having, everything. The clearer, the better. It's kind of like having a prenup in your marriage, like these are just the contracts. This is what we agreed upon,
Like everybody thinks like, oh yeah, being a boss is easy. Being a leader is really, really hard. Like
it's not always
you don't know how to do it until you like throw yourself in that position to lead a team.
Yeah.
And not be the type of boss you don't want to be, or maybe being too nice and that just backfires.
Oh yeah.
Like, all right, I want to build this amazing culture, but maybe now nobody's working because the culture's too relaxed.
They're all just hanging
Or
out.
maybe you're just too uptight and now like, oh, fuck that boss. He's so annoying. He's making me come in every day.
Yeah, people are low-key
So
afraid
finding
of
that
you.
balance is very hard, and being able to communicate with the right person in the proper tone that would relate to them in a, relatable way. I think it's something you just learn as you go, and you have to continue doing a good job at. And I'm still working on that every single day. I've done stuff I wish I didn't do. I can continue to do stuff like, okay, that worked. I'm gonna continue doing that.
Yeah.
And we're not perfect. We're just figuring it out too.
Probably, I would say, I guess, for any business, just the main thing you need to do as an agency owner is just get leads.
Yeah.
Get people through the door. Because if there's leads and things happening, there's money to mess up. And then you can figure it out.
For sure.
But you need a steady flow of leads. So what would you say is the best way you've figured out to get leads on a steady basis, I guess, or like a steady flow of good leads? And leads isn't just good. You can get shitty leads.
Yeah.
The best way to get quality leads, what would you say would be the key takeaway?
Well, the number one thing is making sure you have a team set in place. Once you're in a position to have a team set in place, now you're not working in the business, you can work on the business. By working on the business, you can now work on the marketing, get the leads to, feed everybody, get business
Yeah.
coming through the door. If there's not business coming through the door, like you said,
Crickets.
there's no business. Crickets. Now you can't pay people. Now you got to fire people, and you're back to square one, working by yourself for yourself. But Facebook ads, that's the easiest way, hands down, to target people, whether it's locally here in Arizona. I want to work with people that own a that run a service-based company, or I want to work with people nationwide that owns an e-commerce company. Those are our two bread and butter, I would say, pillars in our agency, and there's in-betweeners between that. But I run two different campaigns, one for local Arizona business owners, one for e-commerce that are nationwide. And from there, I could just target them and run specific video ads that speak directly to my ideal client, because I know exactly what they're looking for, what they want, and I speak to their pain points, and I offers a solution through that video ad. From there, you just set a budget for yourself daily and let it rip if you know how to set it up. And then,
is this something you're like
easier.
Is this something you'd want to do, like a course on how you do this, or like I feel like people need to know this, or
in my mastermind I do a whole 2 to 3 hour segment showing them step by step on how I run my campaign.
I didn't know
then
that.
Week 2 I actually show the results, we talk it through. But that's specifically for the mastermind. In the Creative Business Lab, in the school community, I will be dropping a free mini course that's going to be roughly talking about it, but I will be dropping a very advanced course specifically for creative business owners, how to target your ideal client. And this will be a very low ticket offer. I would say around that $200 to $300 range. That is the best $300 you'll ever spend in your life,
for sure, to
actually know how to set it up. People talk about it like, if I could tell you, go run ads, you'll get clients. Cool. How do I do it? No one shows you the how. Especially for your industry as a creative business owner.
And there's test pools. There's so many things you could do. There's a million ways to skin a cat, so to speak. So it's different for, I guess, a creative agency versus a beauty brand versus an apparel company, even though it's become way more simplified than it used to be. But still, it's I'm still struggling with skincare ads or whatever it might be. As we're talking with our media buyer too, for a lot of the brands, a lot of stuff doesn't hit, and it's they're still figuring stuff out and testing stuff back and forth. So it's a continuous thing, I guess. It's that's awesome that you're gonna do that. I feel like that's gold for sure.
For sure. Just like you saying, oh, they're figuring it out. Everybody's just figuring it out. Is who has the balls to spend enough money to figure it out to finally get the results you want to.
100%. So, and I feel like you don't spend a whole lot every day to get good leads. You just crushed a $15,000 client today with what is it, a $5 lead?
Yeah.
Pretty much. So
some leads, on average for e-com, is typically around 20 to 25 a lead.
Yeah.
For local commercial businesses are 10 to 15 bucks a lead.
Yeah.
And to be transparent, 50 of those are usually asked, but the other 50 are pretty warm. They're pretty solid leads for sure.
But you said you've gotten better quality leads recently?
Yeah. After redoing the copy
Yeah.
and then remaking the video ad, I think it's a lot more on point, speaking to the right person.
Yeah.
And then kind of vetting them through the process on my intake form by setting a starting price at what the packages would be to kind of deter all the lower budget clients. I think I'm moving the right direction for sure.
So the vetting form, is that stuff that you teach in the mastermind, or is that stuff you have as templates and stuff?
No templates for that. That thing's all customized through the actual Meta platform. But I show you step by step on how to set it up, how to create cover images, what kind of questions to ask, how to automate that into your CRM software. And the whole sequence is very intricate, but once you figure it out, it's you just sit down, let it run, spend a couple $1,000 a month, and you make 10, 15, 20x that.
Maybe I should sign up to the next creative mastermind.
You gotta join the Creative Business Lab first, and then you might get access.
I know. Yeah.
But going into, let's say, next week, what are you trying to work on? What are you working on right now? You're finishing up something?
Yeah. I'm a few months in, actually, recording, writing, taking notes, asking people, just really paying attention to what I do on the daily as a UGC creator. Also, what I've learned as a digital marketer and just selling digital products. So I've been creating my own digital product, the Creator Catalyst Academy, where it's I think I'm like 24 videos deep in this community at this point, ranging from 2 3 minute videos all the way up to like 30-minute videos, where I go through how I use CapCut, how I use Canva, how I edit my UGC videos, how I put watermarks, legal templates, my media kit template, how I edit that, and just a lot of things that I feel like, well, not that I feel like, things that I would have killed to have back a year and a half ago when I started doing UGC work. How to price my stuff and not feel dumb, not feel greedy, not undercharging, because I for sure was undercharging in the beginning based on what I've learned now, especially with like fragrance companies and stuff that I was working with. So it's like, yeah, basically just wrapping that up. I'm literally like a click away from launching it at this point. I'm just dropping my my free lead magnet, and the people that get the lead magnet are automatically added on to my discount where I'm giving people $200 off.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so probably going to be ending up around like 350 or so, and giving
Nice.
people 150 for the first 100 people that sign up, where they get everything. So even that alone, like that, the templates alone would be a 150.
What kind of templates?
For like a full blown portfolio template, media template,
Nice.
media kit template.
Mhm.
So that in itself took me like a week to just code everything, make sure it looks good on mobile, looks good on desktop. So it's just plug and play, just tweak your colors and how you'd want it, fonts if you want to. But then again, I go through all of this in the Canva tutorial video where I show everything and how they link it with their domains and stuff like that.
If you're not tech savvy, for someone who doesn't really know much about like, design, could they figure it out?
For sure. And that's kind of like what I wanted to do with this. I kept in mind, like, I'm going in showing like, this is how you drag a file in. This is how you do that. This is how you, so if you're super savvy, it's still worth watching, because there's some tips in there, kind of like auto align and stuff like that. Like you've shown me little things that I picked up on that I didn't know, in Canva, for example, or little things in CapCut too. Because the more I edit video for myself, but also for a lot of the talent and the companies that we work for here. So it's like how much more efficient I become.
It's crazy. You used to take you like an hour and a half to do like a video. Now you crank it down like a couple minutes.
Like, yeah, 10 minutes, the video is done, and so it's just little things like that. And the people that come in now and pay that 150 or whatever it's going to end up being, I'm going to keep adding stuff in here. Like I really want to make this into an academy for creators.
Yeah.
Not like taking away from what you're doing. That's way more advanced, but like for people that want to be a one-man show, travel the world. Like I've always been a nomad. Like I'm not from here. I'm from Norway, but I love going to Dubai. I love going to Spain. I love going to Cyprus, wherever it's at. And it's like, imagine being able to travel the world. And like our friends, like we have friends doing UGC that are making 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month. It depends on the month, But like for me at this point, you're doing an average 5-figure months back to back. And it's like, this wasn't even something I was thinking of doing. I was literally, because you and our other buddy like threw me kind of into this and was like, hey, can you help me shoot this? I don't have a model. And then I was like, oh, wow, it actually worked. And now this is kind of my life.
What kind of tips would you give someone who maybe have heard about UGC, user generated content, for you guys who haven't heard of it, that wants to get into it, maybe as a side hustle? They don't have to do this full time, but you could make some good money on the side. What kind of brands would you tell them to kind of work with?
Take a look at what you're doing in your daily life. What do you like? What do you personally love? What kind of supplements do you take on the daily? What kind of drinks do you drink? What kind of clothes do you wear? What kind of what do you like? Because you have to figure out first, who am I? What do I like? What's unique about me? That's just going to make it so much more authentic when you work with a brand. And like we figured out with all of our brands, authenticity is 100% everything. So if you're not authentic, you don't really convert. Like you just sound like a bad actor at that point. So the key thing is that if you are talking about something that you love, you're going to be talking about it from a place of passion, where you're actually knowledgeable about it and you can take reference points from things in your life. Let's say it's a supplement that's really changed my life, like a gut supplement or an acne supplement or an energy drink that I really love that's given me continuous like good energy, or a fat burner or whatever it might be. So find something around your house, something that you like and that you know about that's actually giving you benefits. Start shooting spec work, which for those that don't know, just like speculative work, I guess, or whatever. Like fake it till you make it. Shoot content of you talking about something. Try editing in CapCut and put this into a portfolio. Start sending this out to brands, and you can start getting work like that. You know,
Do you show them how to like actually find, emails of these people in your course
for sure.
to like actually find how to
Exactly.
reach out to the brands?
Yeah. So I have templates of how I reach out to brands, what I write to these brands, what I do and don't, how to find their emails, how to do searches, how to do research on a brand before you reach out. Because imagine you're going into a brand blindly and you're like, hey, you're sending them a spec video and it's completely off brand for what they're doing. Instead, you could do the pre work, go in there and you're like, you look at what's been converting for them for the longest and been running for them for the longest. And then you're replicating something like that, but in your authentic self, and you deliver that to them. Like me as a brand owner, I would freaking kill to have just random people sending me pre-vetted, almost like free videos or even videos with watermarks on it that, hey, you could use this, but me as a brand owner, I know, oh, this matches exactly my best winning ad. And this person seems super authentic. I'd be glad to pay this person $200-300 for this video right now, where I could just plug it into my media buyer and run this ad and see what works. And if it does work, and you give me a positive 3-4 ROAS, why wouldn't I put you on retainer? You know, like that's what people don't understand. And it's like, if you can figure out something that works with a brand, like me with Virgin, for example, I had this guy, Joe Schmo, and he just figured out what worked. He was not the ideal client. He just gave it a shot. This guy would bring in like 32,000 a month for me every single month. And it's like, I had no problem giving him 10,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? And that just came out of nowhere. So you as a UGC creator can find 3 brands like that and be having 3 retainer clients on 6-month contracts, pulling in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 on repeat with these brands, you know, and it's actual legit brands and contracts. Again, I have the contract in there as well. So you are taken care of in that regard, but it's like, it's just invaluable. I would love to have this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It would have just fast tracked everything for me so much.
The crazy thing is all this content could be shot on an iPhone.
All of it. We shoot literally professional grade everything for our studio here, for your studio here, on an iPhone. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's
even
like,
for most of our clients, we pull up with iPhones.
and that's
It's
what they
wild.
want. That's literally what they want. Like I don't know if most people on here that know Christian Guzman, the founder of Alphalete and Alphalete Athletics and Gym and all
Alphaland?
that, Alphaland. Like he was saying that they used to pay influencers so much and it's like, it's not converting. He was saying numbers don't convert. So it's like, he was even saying this, and I try to like hammer this into people's head. You need 0 followers to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't need any followers to be able to be a good creator, and you could be making 30 grand a month with no following. The thing is, people like him want authentic people to convey the message of the brand. Like I say in the Creator Catalyst Academy, it's like you become the bridge between the consumer and the brand. Like you're so valuable, and you just got to figure out who you are and just find and align yourself with brands that actually work. And he was saying that now they just put all of their efforts into UGC creators. They put no marketing behind big influencers anymore, because
Wow.
even if they have 1 million followers, it doesn't convert. So a little oxymoron here is like he was saying about this one creator. She has a following, but it's a small following compared to the big ones. He was comparing one that they ran with that had 3 million followers. She converted nothing. Then they have a mom in Canada with I think 15,000 followers or something. She makes him 300,000 a month. So for him to give her 20 grand a month, that's nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's literally nothing. So, and he's holding on to her for dear life. He does not want her to leave his side, because that alone, that's a $3 million business just with one UGC creators.
That's crazy.
UGC creator. And I've kind of have the same situation running with a company that I have right now, where it's like, I've, thank God, become valuable to them. I'm not by any means like milking them for money, but it's like, I love being able to help people make money. It's just good karma. If you can align yourself with people, good people and their brands, and you can help, that's the best thing, you know. And just they value
sure.
you value them.
And now you're getting forward custom sunglass pairs.
Yeah,
4
God is good. Yeah,
in different colorways too, more than 4. Yeah,
it's 3 different styles,
Okay.
4 different colorways of
12.
each. So yeah, and that's from something that it was literally just something you threw in my lap because you needed a random guy. You were like, I need one extra UGC. I tried. It kind of worked the first time. You tried me again. It kind of worked the second time. Third or fourth time, it was like, wow, this guy converts. But at that time, I'd become confident in it. You know, I'd become a little more confident. But back to like shooting spec work, I shot nothing before this. I didn't try. So had I spent time doing what I'm telling you guys to do, practice, 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 and find brands that you like. Because back then I didn't care for this brand. I didn't know who it was. Now it's my favorite freaking brand for sunglasses. And I tell everyone I meet, you need to buy the sunglass brand because the quality is great. The company is great. The warranty is great. Everything is great about it. So it's like, you might also stumble upon brands that you never knew of that are now awesome, that you love, and you get paid and everything is great. And now I'm basically not just a UGC creator, I become an affiliate as well.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
And it's building my social, you know, like my social's been booming for the past 3 months. So it's just honestly a win-win-win. Everyone's winning with this. So it's such a positive, net positive business to be in. And like I said, even at the full price of $350, I feel like it's a gold mine. Like you're saying about your course too. Like, why wouldn't you spend $350 to shortcut 2 years of Googling and figuring stuff out?
Oh yeah,
I would die for this.
What's where can they find the academy?
So right now it's at john.burgeon. That's my Instagram. That's usually where I post stuff about this.
On Instagram?
Yep, on Instagram. That's
Is
where
it in your bio?
Yeah, everything's in my bio.
So even if you're like a creative right now and you wanted to do UGC on the side, like you were talking, we were over with Ethan at his house, and then you were talking to, I think, Brian. He's a FPV pilot. But he's like, how can I make some side cash? You guys were talking and you were telling him a little bit.
He was super lit about this.
Yeah.
Like, dude's making really good money with that, but he's like, it's super inconsistent. And I was like, dude, I have two retainer clients now that like are paying me. So it's like, you could be doing this as well. Like the beauty about UGC and what it's kind of like weird because people think, oh, I'm too old for this. Brands need people of all colors, sizes, genders, sexuality to align with their brand.
I feel like if you're older, that's even better. It's so hard to find a good old UGC model.
We struggle nonstop finding like when we need older people for like medical content, like for us to find a decently clean, well-spoken person in their 50s.
Yeah.
Like we would pay
40 plus.
Dude, we would pay them better than a 20-year-old because like 20-year-olds are easier. Yeah, you're a unicorn. So if you're like 50 and you want to get into UGC, or 40, even me, like 38.
Even 35-year-old moms, just anybody.
If you're a stay-at-home mom.
You don't have to be this perfect looking 21-year-old model or some
dude,
whatever you envision.
If you're a stay-at-home mom and you want to make some side income, check it out for sure. Like it's such 100%. A no-brainer.
I don't think any stay-at-home moms are watching this video, but
yeah, God
it is a no-brainer.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe
that could be such easy cash.
Maybe
if I was a stay-at-home mom,
or even like your creator buddies watching this, like if they have a stay-at-home wife,
and
they have kids, like babe, get into UGC. Like, why aren't you bringing home an extra $4,000 a month? Like,
especially
that's our mortgage.
If they could be shooting it for their wives. Oh my gosh,
bro.
That's an extra.
They'll
probably end up making more than you guys make in your agency. Not gonna lie.
At some months, yeah, probably, because it's so consistent. If you can really lock it in. So
true.
And it's like if you have a wife at home that are stay-at-home mom, like it's such an easy thing, and for the both of you to be able to bring home the bacon, like that's your mortgage right there. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like imagine an extra 4 racks a month.
Oh yeah, that would just be so much nicer.
Yeah.
Cool. So go check it out. Go check him out on IG if you guys don't already at john.burgeon. Check out that course if you guys want to make some quick side cash.
For sure.
And I've been seeing him build it for the last couple months. It looks so fire. And actually see him make money doing what he's actually talking about is insane.
You've seen this firsthand, literally paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, we're building it and making money as we go each day. And it's just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So for sure.
God is good.
But that is going to wrap up this fake podcast for this segment.
Jeez, 55 minutes long.
This one.
Dang.
Surprised my battery's still going.
Yeah. Shout out to Osmo.
This Osmo. Look at this face tracking. You can't beat this podcast. I don't even know if it's tracking right now, but
Oh, mine's tracking. But how crazy is this? Woo!
the setup is fire. But this is gonna wrap up this podcast episode. Let us know in the comments what else you guys want to see us talk about. If you guys actually sit through and watch these episodes, let us know. And these are fun making.
Yeah, they're actually really fun. So
we said we're going to sit down for 15 minutes.
yeah,
It's been 55.
I thought it was about around 20 max at this point. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, appreciate you guys. If anyone's listening still, you guys are awesome. And yeah, like you said, this is fun. Be doing this with my bestie, sitting down, talking shit, and hanging out.
Just wait till the next one. We're going to have some more juicy stuff to talk about.
For sure. We're plotting stuff.
All right, see you guys in the next one.
Peace.